All right, it's Joe Bruin here with All Access Entertainment. Christopher Hensel here. It's Rhode Island Comic Con, Dukes of Hazzard Zone. What's it been like meeting the fans one-on-one at an event like this where you get to have that back and forth in person?
Well, first of all, Joe, I'm so impressed with the little state's biggest Comic Con. I couldn't even believe or imagine that it was so huge. But I always love doing these things because people talk about their childhood. They talk about the Dukes of Hazzard. They talk about Captain California. They talk about the Comic Cons they've been to. They talk about muscle cars. And it brings me right back to my high school days when I was on the Dukes of Hazzard. Well, I was a little bit older after that, but we were, driving around in hot rods a few years before the Dukes of Hazzard was on, and then all of a sudden I got on it. But this is very amazing. I'm very impressed. And I just love chatting to regular people who just love to come out and see their favorite stars or their favorite cars.
Sure.
It's amazing.
And this is being your first time at Rhode Island Comic Con?
Yes, first time.
What other events do you travel to other cons, or is it mostly local events, or a little bit of both?
I live in Southbridge. I live in Massachusetts, so we did a lot of local events, local huge car shows, a couple smaller cons. We did the Rainham Flea Market, which we're going to do again a couple times next summer. I'm going to be on a huge tour with Gas Monkey and the ultimate Eastbound and Down tribute to Burt Reynolds and the Smokey and the Bandit tour. So we're going to be in about 6 different states in 6 different months next year. I got a couple movies I'm funding for that hopefully I'll be filming here in New England. And then we're going to come back to hopefully to the Rhode Island Comic Con next November.
Awesome, make it a tradition.
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome. Well, it's great having you here. 3 full days, and like you said, it's a small state, but it's not a small event.
But it's a lot of people.
It's like a city. And speaking of Jeb and of course your role, how did that come about? What was that experience like?
Well, when I was in New York for a couple years trying to get on, doing some off-Broadway shows. I was a singer. And then I went to California right after like 79 and got mistaken for John Schneider 3 times one Friday night. And the last person knew Uncle Jesse. So they said, you got to go audition. So I went and got to my acting coach who got to an agent who didn't want to represent me because I'd never done television before. And I said, I look like the guy, because I look like the guy.
Sure.
So finally, after 2,500 people, I got the part. And that was history. Got on the Dukes of Hazzard, then I got the kids show, Captain California, on the kids Superpower Hour with Shazam, and my career started. Now I write and produce family faith-based movies.
Well, that's great.
And I have a new one coming on Tubi within the next week or so called Redemption, Salvage Yard Shine Boys, starring Byron Cherry.
Fantastic.
Yep.
And where can fans follow you? As far as, are you on social media or?
Yeah, you can go to Chris Hensel on Facebook or Christopher Hensel or Jeb Stewart Productions, or go to my website, jebstewartproductions.com, and you'll find me.
Excellent. And when it comes to the voiceover work, what's the difference between voiceover and on-screen? Is there a huge difference in the production of it all?
Well, it's like a recording studio. When you are the voice of a character or a cartoon, you go into what's called a recording studio. And it's very cut and dry. It's marked, this is what you have to say, this is the time frame you have to say it. And you can actually watch it sometimes as your mouth is moving on the cartoon, and you kind of mimic that.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for joining us here, All Access Entertainment, Rhode Island Comic Con, and hopefully it's a tradition to have you here each year.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Joe.